Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to delve into a gripping crime story that has shocked the UK. So let's start with the first story. A British grandmother has been on death row in Bali for over 10 years for smuggling drugs. But now, there's a chance she might not face the firing squad. Lindsay Sandiford, 67, was caught in 2013 trying to bring £1.6 million worth of cocaine into Indonesia in her suitcase. Recently, her fellow inmates revealed that she might get her death sentence changed to life in prison. This change could happen because she has been well behaved during her time in jail. People in the prison call her the grandmother, and she gets special treatment, like having steak dinners and teaching other inmates how to knit. If her sentence is changed, her lawyers might be able to argue for her to return to the UK, where she could be freed because of the time she's already spent in jail. There's hope that she could go home by 2025. Human rights advocates are calling for her to be returned to the UK, saying that Indonesia should recognize her cooperation with authorities and the circumstances that led her to smuggling drugs. Despite the tough conditions in the Bali prison, Lindsay's positive attitude has made her popular among other inmates. She is scared of the possibility of execution, but she has come to accept it. Lindsay was caught with cocaine in 2012 and initially claimed she was forced to smuggle it. She later changed her story, but still received the death sentence. Critics argue that her sentence was too harsh, especially compared to others involved in the case. And the next story is 10-year sentence for dealer running County Lines drugs operation in Dudley. A man named Mohammed Sheikh from Dudley has been sent to prison for selling heroin and crack cocaine. He got 10 years in prison, while his partner, Sapphire Edwards, got an 18-month suspended sentence and 120 hours of unpaid work for helping him. This happened after an investigation that lasted almost a year and a half. The police focused on stopping County Lines drug dealing during that time. County Lines is when criminals use mobile phones to sell drugs and make people carry them across county borders. Mohammed Sheikh, 28, ran a County Lines operation called the Sandy Line. The police started investigating him after finding a phone line that seemed to be connected to a major drug operation. They saw messages advertising drugs, which is common in County Lines operations. In June 2022, Sheikh was stopped and searched in Dudley. Although no drugs were found, his phone had messages advertising drugs for sale. The police also found out that Edwards was using another phone for drug deals. They arrested Sheikh and Edwards at Birmingham Airport as they tried to board a flight to Cancun, Mexico. Sheikh had a lot of cash, expensive items, and drugs hidden in his luggage. Both Sheikh and Edwards were charged and pleaded guilty to selling drugs. The police praised the investigation for stopping Sheikh's drug operation, and the next story is one of the brothers who led a sex grooming gang in Telford, Shropshire, is hoping to be released from prison after less than 12 years behind bars. Mubarak Ali, then 29, and his brother Adel Eddie Ali, 24, were part of a gang of 7 men who targeted young girls between 2006 and 2009, with some victims as young as 13. The brothers' gang would give alcohol, food, and money to schoolgirls, controlling them as child prostitutes. They were convicted in 2012 of various offenses, including rape, sexual activity with a child, and controlling child prostitution. Mubarak was initially sentenced to 14 years and Adel to 18 years. Mubarak was released partway through his sentence in 2017, but was sent back to prison for breaking his license conditions. Adel was released in late 2020, but was recalled to jail 7 months later for breaching his license conditions. Recently, Adel, now 35, had a parole hearing, but the decision was to keep him in jail. Mubarak, now 40, is also seeking parole, but his case is challenging. A parole board will review his case based on the risk he poses to the public if released. During their trial, it was revealed that the brothers groomed young girls to exploit them sexually. They were part of one of the largest police operations, Operation Chalice, which aimed to catch sex abusers in Telford. The operation led to convictions for the Ali brothers and others involved in the gang. One victim, known as Holly, spoke out about her abuse, which started at age 14 and lasted for 4 years. She described being sold for sex countless times and how the men blackmailed her to keep her quiet. And the next story is the Serpent serial killer who murdered 20 on Hippie Trail is spotted in London. Charles Sobraj, known as the Serpent, a serial killer from the 1970s and 1980s who targeted backpackers on the Hippie Trail, has been seen in London. He has been linked to the deaths of at least 20 people in Asia. Sobraj, now 79, is often in the UK and was recently filmed for a documentary wearing a disguise. A Channel 4 program will look into his escape from a Nepal jail in 2022. He spent almost 20 years in jail for drugging, robbing, and killing tourists in Thailand, India, and Nepal. The documentary shows Sobraj in London, taking pictures and talking about evading capture. In the documentary, Sobraj talks about his crimes, including the murder of Teresa Knowlton, a 21-year-old American tourist in Bangkok in 1975. He also discusses killing Vitali Hakim, a Turkish man in Thailand. He has never faced trial for some of these murders. Despite his age, Sobraj is described as sharp and still capable of manipulation. He was released from a Nepalese jail in 2022 due to his age and health, but has a long history of crimes, including being linked to over 20 murders. He was called the Bikini Killer because he often targeted women in swimsuits. And the next story is, the mothers whose pedophile exes retain parental rights. A man named Diego Della Rovere, aged 43, has been jailed for raping a woman in Croydon. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison at Snaresbrook Crown Court on Friday, the 15th of March. Della Rovere was found guilty of rape, assault by penetration, and sexual assault at Croydon Crown Court on Friday, the 19th of January. The investigation began when a woman reported in May 2021 that she had been attacked by Della Rovere at a house in Croydon, where she rented a room. Della Rovere had booked to stay at the house on the 7th of May 2021 through an online booking site. After spending some time out in Croydon that evening, he returned to the house and sexually assaulted the woman before raping her. Della Rovere was identified through intelligence linking him to the property. Although officers went to his house to arrest him, he was not there. He later surrendered himself to Hammersmith Police Station. Detective Constable Natalie Alchin, who led the investigation, described the incident as a terrifying experience for the victim in her own home, where she should have felt safe. She commended the victim for her support during the investigation and emphasized the Met's commitment to combating violence against women and girls. She hoped that the outcome of this case would encourage other victims of sexual offenses to come forward and report them. That's it for now. See you again tomorrow with a new story. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. Until next time, stay safe and vigilant.